G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my official Joe Lagowski Golf putting test for the GolfJoy GDS Pro. Now, if you've watched any of my official putting tests, you'll know that they are very in-depth. We start off with 2-foot putts and we work all the way up to 200-foot putts. So we're testing the horizontal launch angle of this device, as well as like the, I guess, putting ball speed. Like, is there a limitation on this unit in terms of putting? Now, what I will do is I'll caveat this video. And the reason I say I'm going to caveat this video is because this is actually the first Joe Lagowski Golf putting test, and I'm going to do the chipping test as well, that I've actually done from this environment. So it's a little bit different to my environment that I'm used to doing these tests in. Obviously, when I do these tests at my home studio back in Adelaide, I had my overhead projection, which gave me a reference line of what was perfectly straight. And so today, here at Bayside HQ, I don't obviously have those reference lines on the ground. So, and I'm putting off easy tee turf, which is different to my putting turf that I use at home. I'm not going to give this any lenience. So like if we see some misreads today, they're going to be misreads, right? They should be able to perform in different environments. Putting off easy tee turf, this stuff is dense. This stuff is really flat. And so look, yes, we might see a little bit more interaction because this is not putting turf specifically. Take it with a grain of salt. I'll be very fair in this test. And if I see a misread, I'm going to call it out. But I will also say that I am in a different environment. So it is what it is. The other thing with this test as well that I want to highlight is GolfJoy units at the moment do not have an alignment mode, which is really, really frustrating. So whenever I do a putting test or a chipping test or any simulation play, I like to know that the device is perfectly aligned with where I'm trying to go, especially with putting. If you don't know the device is perfectly aligned, then you're inducing error with the unit just sitting there. So I have it aligned to the best of my ability. I've kind of tried to align it to the actual hitting strip that I'm going to be putting off, but just know there is no alignment mode. I have talked to GolfJoy about this. They said they're going to implement something potentially using lasers, which I don't really like, because if you've got lasers on your unit firing at the ground, if your ground's not perfectly flat, those laser lines will actually be not straight. So what I'd love GolfJoy to do is just use 2 golf balls and use those to actually, do your reference line like Unicore does, like we see the Element do. That's what I'd ultimately love for them to do, but we'll see. They've said they're going to come out with an alignment mode, so stay tuned. Okay, for the official putting test, we'll go into match settings. We are going to turn putting assistance off. We are going to set the stimp to stimp 13, and all of that looks good. Let's go and do the official Joe Lagowski Golf putting test for the GDS Pro. This is exciting. I'm actually keen to see how this device is going to go for putting. When I used this on course, when I played my course play videos with it, I think there was instances, and with chipping as well, where this device would be perfect and then every now and then spit out a right HLA. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced with the HLA with this device. It's going to be interesting to say putting it through this putting test. The other thing I want to caveat with this video is I have not been playing much golf. So if we see variance in HLA, I will be very honest and vocal as to whether I think it was me or the unit. So I guess my putting stroke isn't what it used to be when I was world number 1. Okay, we're going to start off with 2-foot putts. And this is where, honestly, ground interaction actually matters, because the ball is moving so slowly across the actual ground, across the surface of the actual hitting strip, that it may bobble and we might see some slight variances in HLA when we're doing these really short 2-foot putts. As the speed increases, the golf ball is going to be traveling quicker over the surface, and so therefore we might see less variance in HLA. Okay, 2-foot putts, little tap-ins. This is kind of testing, is there a ball speed cutoff? Like, is there, can you do 2-foot putts in your simulator room? That one registered and HLA was 0.0. So we're off to a good start. Yep. And that one was 0.1 to the right. So far, so good. Okay, and we saw that one take off a little bit to the right. Again, I hit that one a bit softer, and so that's where potentially what it's running over in front of it, potentially it hit something that spit it to the right. There's, on these short putts, I mean, realistically, doing this with HLA assist turned off is, yeah, you're asking for variance. There we go. That one was 1 degree left. So to me, so far so good. I'm not seeing anything that's causing concern. And that one there, 1.7 left. So yeah, all good. Okay, 5 feet. Yeah, lovely putt. Yeah, another good one. What I will say is this Easy Tee turf is actually significantly more bumpy than my putting turf that I usually do this test on. I mean, and it should be. It's tee turf, right? It's going to be more rough than putting turf. It just, the way it is, it's designed that way. Felt like a good putt. Yeah, and again, no issues. That was a really nice putt. Okay, back to 10 feet now. Yep, really nice putt. Okay, that one there. See, that to me, I obviously hit it too hard, but 1.5 right, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that because it felt like a really nice putt. Like, as in, like, I saw the golf ball roll end over end. So that one there, I question that one. I don't know. I just don't know about that. Yep, lovely putt there. So yeah, I don't know. That one that was 1.5 right, I don't think it was. Now, realistically, if you had horizontal assist turned on, which you always do in GS Pro, even in the tournaments, that one, you know, would have been fine. But because I do this raw and I have horizontal assist turned off, that's where you're going to see little discrepancies like that. Is it going to affect you in your course play? If you've got horizontal assist turned on, no. But yeah, I think it was a slight misread. Yeah, lovely putt. Yeah, felt like a nice putt. Cool, 20 feet. Perfect. Oh, that was nice. Really nice speed. So in terms of actual speeds, like ball speeds, they all feel perfect. Like it's great. Like it feels exactly like the Pro Tee, to be honest, in terms of putting speeds. I'm not having to adjust at all. Horizontal launch angle, the other thing we're paying close attention to, I think I've had one misread. But ball speeds are absolutely spot on. Felt like a nice putt, and it was perfect. Perfect. Yeah, really nice putt. Oh, I need to go play some simulator golf tour, I think, the way I'm rolling it today. Yep, another really nice putt. Okay, on to 30 feet. Now we need to get even more accurate with our putting. As we get further away, horizontal launch angle needs to be tighter. You've just got to be so accurate with your initial start line from 30 feet. It's got to be within like 0.3 or 0.4 of a degree. Pulled it slightly. Yeah, you can see. So, I mean, that is exactly what it felt like. I felt like I hit the slightest of pulls, and we can see 0.5 of a degree left. Now, if you are eagle-eyed, you'll be able to see there it says spin axis -17, and then you'll also see spin rates. GS Pro does not take those into account, so that is not affecting your roll. So all these simulation softwares, all they take into account for putting is ball speed and horizontal launch angle. So those are not affecting anything with these putts. Oh, I haven't hit that. Go, 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 go. I knew I hadn't hit that. So in terms of speed, like speed feels spot on with this. I mean, really, like everything feels amazing. I've just seen that one part that I'm pretty confident in saying horizontal launch angle was incorrect. Okay. I think I pulled it. I don't think it was 2 degrees. It wasn't a good putt. My putting stroke wasn't great on that one. I don't think it was 2 degrees left. Look, I could be wrong. It might have read correctly, but I don't think it was. With all the putts we've seen today, they've all been pretty tight in terms of their horizontal launch angles. We've just seen 2 that go a little bit wild. Oh, that one's gone 1.4 left. So maybe that's right. As we get further back, I guess, that one's gone 0.7 right. That felt legit. Look, I am out of practice, let's be honest, but I don't know about that 2 degrees left. I think we've had a couple of misreads so far. I think the one we saw come off 1.5 right from 10 feet and then the 2 degrees left, I'm not convinced those are correct. Okay, 40 feet. See, that's 2 degrees as well. Now I'm a bit lost. Maybe, is it alignment? See, this is where not having an alignment mode on the unit is, maybe it is aligned a bit to the right, but then why would the short putts have been spot on? I'm not going to touch a unit. We'll keep going with the test. We've got 40 feet now. I'm just going to keep putting. That felt like a really nice putt. That looked legit to me. I didn't hit it, but that looked legit. 0.8, that's true. Potentially those pulls were me then. I don't know. Look at that. That's better. Great putt. Do you know what? Potentially those pulls were me. Or it's like alignment. That putt there, I felt like I just let it. I wasn't trying to guide it, if that makes sense. I almost felt like I was aiming a little bit right on that one. So potentially alignment is slightly out, and that's why those pulls came up in the other putts. With this one, I'm just going to let it try and almost go a tiny bit to the right, if that makes sense. This is why an alignment mode is so crucial. Yeah, I think it was. So those pulls, I think, were legit. I think the unit is slightly out, potentially. That one's come off 1.1 right. Yeah, that's probably legit. .9 left. Yeah, that's probably legit. If it's anything like, crazy 2 degrees, that's where I start to kind of question it. 0.9 is well within the realms of possibility. That's not that far out for such a long putt. A degree left or right is, when you swing the putter that hard, it's well within tolerances for my level anyway. Maybe not PGA Tour level. Yep, that looks legit. 0.8. Absolutely. What I've learned is I need to go get back on my putting mat. And I need to do some dedicated practice. Oh, there he is. There he is. Come on, fall in. Just fall in. Oh, you're kidding. That was such a good putt. So far, I genuinely think we've seen maybe one misread. So yeah, I think we've seen one misread so far. That one that went right. Possibly that one that went 2 degrees left. But then I've kind of fixed that by just yeah, I think me being a bit out of practice doesn't help as well. So that felt like a nice putt, slightly right. So yeah, that's legit. Good speed. Yeah, a little bit left. That's what it felt like. Again, perfect for speed. Okay, we've got our first really long putt, 100 feet. So now we're starting to test the unit in terms of, is there like a max ball speed that this gets cut off on? I know with the Unicore iMini, for instance, 100 feet is like the cutoff where I have to change it from putting mode into just a full shot mode because it won't register the ball if it's going too quick in a putting mode. But yeah, 100 feet. I don't think there will be any issues because I don't think this thing has a dedicated putting mode as such. I think it just has the one mode for everything. A little bit to the right. On such a long putt, 1.7 degrees makes it look like a massive error, but that is completely normal. Like that is a legit reading. When you're swinging a putter this hard, it's actually really hard to start it on 0.0. Oh, 0.5 left. That's not a bad effort. Sit. I've just smashed it. Way too hard. Okay, up to 125 feet now. Felt like a nice putt. Yeah, no issues. That was a really good putt. Sit. Good for speed as well. Yeah, again, a degree left is completely normal. That's fine from 125 feet. Go! So ball speeds with this thing has been like really nice. It's been super consistent in terms of the ball speeds. Well, really, and horizontal launch angles have been good as well. That's left. I knew I pulled that. That was the worst stroke. I took that back and I haven't done a long enough backswing, hit it harder, and then you get a massive pull. That was pathetic. That was me. Okay, let's finish with a nice putt from 125 feet before we go on to 200 feet. A little bit to the right. Sit. But again, speeds are spot on. That felt legit. I definitely pushed that. I towed that as well, so bit of gear effect potentially, club face opening. Okay, on to the long ones, the 200-foot putts. So this really, I'm not really testing horizontal launch angle. This is all about ball speeds. We're trying to test if there is an upper limit to this unit in terms of putting and ball speeds. So I'm just going to smash these. Okay. Ah, that's interesting. I hit that so hard that it got vertical launch angle. And because of the vertical launch angle, it's actually gone short. Even though the ball speed read correctly and the horizontal launch angle was correct, what I think, because it doesn't have a putting mode potentially, it's actually taken vertical launch angle into account, and therefore in the GS Pro world, it's actually hindered it because it's gone nowhere, because that should have gone a lot further for how hard I hit that. So that's interesting. Potentially there needs to be a patch that tells it not to send vertical launch angle on these really long putts. So that's maybe something we could feed back to GolfJoy and just say, hey, when you're doing putting with such a long putt, we need to take away the vertical launch angle as a metric that feeds into it. Because otherwise you're going to get that where it's going to come up way short because it has like a weird ground interaction. Okay, let's do another 200-foot putt. See that one there? Didn't have VLA, and that's a lower ball speed, but it's going to be a lot further in the virtual world. That was a good putt. Go! Yeah, it's gone a lot further in the virtual world because there was no vertical launch angle as part of the algorithm. Okay, 729 as a score. That's actually not bad. In terms of the experience putting with the GolfJoy GDS Pro, I do believe horizontal launch angle. I'm not convinced. I'm convinced 99% of the time. I think one putt we had a misread where it came out 1.5 right on that 10-foot putt. I don't think that was legit. The rest of them, I can kind of see that might have been me, especially on those ones that came off left. The first one that was 2 degrees left, that was quite far left. Could it have potentially been me and my alignment? Absolutely. And that's what brings me back to, with all these units, we need to have an alignment mode. We need to, because if we don't have an alignment mode, I'm always going to be second guessing and I'm always going to be questioning, was it me or was it the alignment of the unit or was it a misread potentially from the unit? You get in this loop where you just, and then you're just not confident. And so you start changing things and experimenting. So to me, alignment mode is absolutely necessary. Use the 2 golf ball method. Don't try and do a laser, because if the ground's not perfectly flat, the laser's line's not going to be perfect. So yeah, to me, putting with the GDS Pro, I actually give it a thumbs up. I think ball speeds were amazing. Potentially one misread from the unit there, which in reality, if you had the horizontal launch angle assist turned on, then that would have massaged it out and it would have been close to 0. Potentially some of the ones that took off left, there might have been, I think they were me looking back. So that's the GDS Pro with the official Joe Lagowski Golf putting test. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you got any comments or questions, please leave them down below and I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.